Hello again. Okay, so after we have talked about security principles, security programs, some mitigation process and criteria, like 3 types of mitigation, it's time to enter some new subject, entirely new subject. It's not related to the previous one. This subject talks about what most, and by most I mean for like from 70 up to 90% of the companies and banks and networks in the world do build themselves or do build their network. And by that I mean is that banks and companies, most of them, do have branches in other areas, in other places, maybe in other provinces, maybe in other states, governorates, maybe in other countries. Maybe it's an international or a global company or a bank. Both of them can be this way. So in this company and in this bank, both of them do have their own local special system or systems, multiple systems. Each system represents the data and the special information and procedures and programs of this specific company. It's private thing only inside the company, or as it's called, a local thing. So the main office or the main headquarter of the company should maybe use, or not maybe, should always use the same systems and programs that the branch companies of this company is using. So they should share the same information together at the same time. Like when you want to buy a mobile phone, maybe, or a computer, a laptop, maybe you want to buy it from brand A. Let's say it's an MSI, like my laptop. I love this laptop. So it's an MSI laptop. You want to take it. Maybe you'll not take it from headquarter. Maybe you want to take it from whatever selling branch. What you need to know and what actually is happening is that all of those selling branches around the world, in whatever country, or maybe around the same country, inside the same country, there are multiple selling branches, like 10. All of them are using the same selling system and the same billing or accounting system. So all of them are offering you the same laptops at the same specifications and under the same prices and guarantees, etc. So there is a common and shared system between all of them, and all of them are like connected, or like all of those branches with their systems are negotiating or contacting the same server. Maybe the server is in the headquarter and all of those branches are distributed maybe in different places in the country or the state. What I mean by that is that all of them are behaving like identically, like the same. This happens like, how do branch A gets connected directly to the main server, and also branch B to the main server, branch C and D. All of them are talking to the same server. Each one of them is in a different state, and all of them are under the same network. Actually, what you want to know is that all of them are using the same IP address and subnet mask from the same prefix. They are coming, all of them, under the same prefix. That's what makes them all of them under the same network. So they are located in different geographical spots. What happens is that they could, and this is normal, extend like a kilometers, cables of kilometers in length between all of those sites. Like maybe there is a 100-kilometer length in here, a distance between site A and the main headquarter, and maybe a 20-kilometer in here, and some miles or yards at whatever measurement unit that you are using. This is not really what's happening, because no one is allowed to extend this really extra long cables underground or using whatever way method, because these are really far and long distances, and there will be some interruptions, or there will be maybe some what do we call them, geographical spots, or maybe terrains. Yes, some geographical terrains that will avoid us, or maybe make us unable to do that, to perform that in this way. So what happens really is that, let's clear it again. Maybe this is branch A, the main branch, the headquarter, and this is branch B, C, and D, and in those distances or between those two geographical spots, there are many companies in the way, many internet companies in the way. I can't really extend 100-kilometer cable to connect my headquarter to branch C, but I can make use of some of the companies in the way. Like I can only extend maybe like 10 kilometers to maybe company called company like Z, and I will ask them a favor to connect my cable through them to maybe company X, and from company X to my branch C. So I did ask for help of some companies in the way. Maybe those companies are some gateway of the government, of the Ministry of Communication, or maybe they are some of the internet service providers in the way, or whatever other known and public common companies are available in this way. So this is the only method that I can do and make use of, just to extend the 100-kilometer maybe distance between branch A and branch C. So I did make use of them, of those companies in the way. And what happens is that when I extend my cable to company Z, they will insert the cable in their switches. And after that, from their switches to the switches or the routers of company X, and from company X to my switch again, or my router again in branch C. So my network is now inside their network. What I need to do actually is now I need to establish, or I need to extend the network from point A to point C, but in the way there are companies or networks that are not mine and they do not belong to my company. So what I need to really establish right now is now I need to virtually, not in a real way, because there is no real thing that's belong to me right now. Those company X and Z are not mine. They are different companies, but they are helping me with that, of course, for some payment of money mostly. Okay, so I need virtually to create a network between company A and C, to extend the network between company A and C, and this network must be private, because what happens now, my company's data, my company's private data and information are being shared from point A to point C. Can see that? Okay, so what needs to be shared between these 2 points, exported and imported between these 2 points, must remain secret, must remain private. So what I need actually is now to virtually create a private network between point A and C, so that point C will behave and act as like it's directly connected to branch A, and just like it's within the subnet or the network of branch A. This can be happened and achieved by using the virtual private networks, the VPN protocols. That one protocol, that one issue, just like every video, like a timestamp for videos, I'm sorry. Virtual private network, a VPN. And VPN is not like one single protocol. It's not like typing router VPN and like maybe hitting the interface, or maybe like maybe like accessing a configuration of interface fast Ethernet 01 enable VPN. It's not this way. VPN is a concept that you need to understand. After that, you'll find multiple protocols that are acting as a VPN, are serving you in the purpose or from the perspective of establishing a virtual private network. So VPN, how it's called a virtual, that's because we are making a network between point A and C, but the truth is there is no network between point A and C. There are multiple networks. There's a network between A and Z, from Z to X, and from X to C. So there are multiple networks, but what we want to achieve is only one single network from point A to C. And how private is that the VPN protocols will establish a really hidden and unseen tunnel underground. This is virtually, this is not real, no one is digging. A really hidden a virtual hidden tunnel between point A and C, regardless of all the companies in the way, just to make a true connection between A and C, and whatever information is shared between A and C, they will remain private, and company Z and X will have no idea what's being shared between A and C. They are giving you the service and the benefit of connecting your networks through their networks, through their same specific I'm sorry, through their very networks, which is the network of point Z, but and X, but they have no idea what are you doing. So tunnels will be established to transfer data and information privately through those virtual networks. And what you will achieve is a full separation, that all of the things that are being shared now between point A and C, they have the benefit of full separation, that they will not interrupt ZNX, and ZNX will not interrupt and conflict with the information of this tunnel. Okay, so and finally, the fourth thing to know is that this will be called an end-to-end encryption, just in case company Z wants to sniff your data and to see what are you transforming. VPN protocols will already do some encryption from point A and point C, and there will be some specific keys and security concepts and programs applied to all the data shared between A and C. So they will be encrypted completely, and no one will guess and or discover what are those information that are being shared between point A and C. So this is only the concept of VPN. I would like to just talk about VPN like the same. One single video will be more than enough, because Cisco only wants from you to know only one thing about VPN and the CCNA, which is called the site-to-site VPN. They didn't really mention all those specific details and introduction in the blueprints, neither the client VPN that I will talk about in a few moments, like it will take only maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes to talk about, but it's really important to you to know that. What Cisco wants you to know is only one specific type of VPNs, which is called a site-to-site VPN. Site-to-site VPN is a major category or major branch of VPN protocols, and underneath the site-to-site VPN there are multiple types of VPNs, which are type 1, the peer-to-peer VPN, and type 2, the overlay VPN. Site-to-site VPN, peer-to-peer VPN, overlay VPNs, all those three terms or concepts are only to describe what's really happening between point A and C. That's it. So let's do our draw again, like we have the branch. This is B, this is C, and this is D. So those three terms, we will see the difference between peer-to-peer VPN and overlay VPN on both, and both of them are two types of the site-to-site VPN. But peer-to-peer VPN and overlay VPN, both of them are only what will be the behavior of the devices, or what are the acts and the protocols or the methods that you need as an engineer to establish and configure between point A and C, so that you will in the end have a virtual private network between A and C. Peer-to-peer VPN needs you to configure an IGP, an interior gateway protocol. Just in case you have forgot, in chapter 3 one of the interior gateway protocols was OSPF or RIP or EIGRP or ISIS, but for you in the CCNA course you have only static OSPF. Okay, mostly it will be dynamic, of course, not will be static. That's really rare to use with the VPN unless it wasn't used at all. So you will need to use OSPF for routing and forwarding, which is in this case OSPF is called the underlay protocol. So you see, there is no protocol called VPN. There are multiple protocols that are configured and designed to be used, or maybe to give the use of establishing a virtual private network. So now you have two things, the underlay and the overlay. The underlay in the peer-to-peer VPN protocol, it's called is the OSPF protocol is behaving as an underlay protocol, because this is something that is working behind the scenes between point A and C. There is OSPF behind the scenes that is really routing between point A and C. And what there is in between point A and C, there are company X, and there's company Z, or maybe Z and X, the same thing, the same concept. Okay, so there will be an OSPF between A and X, between an OSPF between X and Z, and the final OSPF between Z and C. And this way, this will provide you, like, maybe consider those as 4 routers and all of them are having the point-to-point OSPF between them. So in the end, you'll have direct connectivity. I'm sorry, you'll have reachability between point A and point C because there is a routing between them, all of those, using OSPF. After that, what happens is that the IGP will be exchanged at the edges of the ISP. So maybe both of those are ISPs. What will happen is that you will send OSPF to point X, Company X. Company X will use your OSPF. It will redistribute it. It will do some higher educational maybe concepts, or what can we call it, advanced protocol features that you will study in CCNP, which are called the redistribution and the policy-based routing, PBR, etc. that we will study in the VPN and in the advanced routing in the CCNP. I hope so. After modifying your OSPF, they will send it to Z and modify it again and will be sent to point C. So what you do actually is that you will like have the control only about what's happening between company A, point A and X, and what's happening between company C and Z from the perspective of point A and from the perspective of point C. So it's only like partial control upon the entire path. You can just send OSPF to point X, wait for point X to re-modify it and send it to point Z, waiting for point Z to modify it and send it to point C. So this is what's happening in the peer-to-peer VPN. In the overlay VPN, you will purchase something, actually it's a bit of expensive, which is called a circuit. And this is by using some specific types of technologies and protocols called the point-to-point protocols. This will virtually establish a real cable between point A and C. And after that, point A will consider and will be convinced that it's directly connected to point C through a single cable. It's not. We are still connecting to point C using X and Z in the way, but the overlay VPN using the protocols of point-to-point that are considered under the overlay VPN type, they will convince point A and C that they are directly connected together. And since they are directly connected together, then I will perform or I will configure an OSPF between A and C, and that's it. It's done. Point X and Z will not perform OSPF. Point X and Z will have no idea what's happening totally, and they will not help us in anything, but they will help us passing this circuit of a point-to-point circuit, this virtual path through their devices, and after that they will do nothing. Point A and C will configure OSPF. So those are the two types that you want to know, that Cisco wants you to know briefly about the site-to-site VPN. And that's it. No need for further headache about VPN. In CCNP, you'll have a lot of time to work to understand and configure VPN. You will configure also a VPN in the CCNP. The last type that I believe Cisco haven't mentioned, but it's really important for you to know, I will just talk about this in 2 or 3 minutes. It will not take a lot of time, is the client VPN. Client VPN is like for whatever an end device is making use of the VPN technology. And that happens like maybe you are now or in the future. I have for you that you will work one day, and you will see this one day. I will show this for you. You will work in a networking company or in a bank, but you are working under the title of a network engineer or an IT engineer. What happens is that inside this company there is a VPN server that is using AAA and PPP and other things that we will talk about in the end of this course. Some of them will be talked about and will be discussed in the CCNP only, but AAA will be discussed in the end of this course. Sorry, in the end of this chapter 5. There is a server inside this company, and what's happening is that just in case you are at home, you have your computer at home, your computer is using a private IP address of 192.168 and .x, etc, whatever, but this private server inside the company, you are now out of the office time work, you are now out of your shift, you are in the company taking a rest. Okay, so what happens is that this is another, maybe just another private network, which is the company, which is away, or the bank. You are away right now, you are in your home, and some incident happened. What they want you right now to do is that you want to access your network, the routers and the switches of the bank, and to troubleshoot what's happening, or to configure, or it is something that is happening remotely. You are on a private network and the entire company is on another private network. Client VPN is an application that you should install inside your computer. After you access this application, it will ask you for the IP address of the VPN server and the username, password, encryption type, and connection type, and some other features, or maybe less than those five, some other questions and queries, or maybe less than those five. After you enter all those informations correctly, virtually, you will join the network of the bank or the network of the company, and you will achieve or you will obtain virtually for a temporal amount and temporal duration of time, you will obtain an IP address from the company. Virtually, there will be a cable extended from your computer to one of the company switches, and the DHCP inside the company will give you an IP address. So this is client VPN. It's for end user. It requires a software for you to install in the computer. It's established remotely. Credentials are needed, username and password. What will happen? There will be a hidden tunnel between your PC and the router of the company, which is the server, the AAA server, which can be a router. So this is the client VPN. After you establish all the connection between your end device, your computer, and the VPN, the bank network or the company network entirely will treat you as like anyone or any person that is right now working or operating from inside the network itself. So you will be able to access the network and access all the devices and do whatever you want in the network. So this is client VPN. This is for remote working and for remote networking from a remote site or from your home or office or anywhere. I'm sorry. So this is all what you need to know about VPN. It's really simple to know. I believe it's really simple for you to know, and I hope it's really simple for you to know. Just in case it wasn't, you know where to comment down below in the videos on our channel. Subscribing to the channel would be really kind from you, just in case you'd like the content, the video, etc. For any comments or for any notes regarding the video, the content, the way that I produce, maybe the same course itself, just please comment down below in the video. You can contact me on LinkedIn. The link is available at the homepage of the YouTube, or you can comment down below in the video. So I hope everything is really clear. Also, there is a Facebook page you can see in the homepage of our YouTube channel, and please, after finishing this video, jump to the upcoming video to finish chapter 5. There will be only 2 or 3 subjects to discuss. So thank you for timing, and see you in the upcoming video.